Hi friends, and in this video we are going to see Amazon Web Services Solution Architect Associate Exams questions and answers with explanation. So we'll start with the first question. First question, in Amazon EC2 Container Services Component, what is the name of logical grouping of container instance on which you can place tasks? So the answers are a cluster, a container instance, a container, or task definition. So in Amazon Web Services, instance means the server. Virtual server we call instance, as you know. For that we have to prepare for examination. So we'll check the answer with the questions. So we are going to do the second question. The second question is, your supervisor has asked you to build a simple file synchronization service for your department. He doesn't want to spend too much money on, he wants to notify of any changes to file by email. What do you think would be the best Amazon service to use for email solution? So the answers are Amazon SES, Amazon Cloud Search, Amazon SWF, and Amazon AppStream. So here in this, the usually Amazon Web Services Cloud Architect Solution Associate Examinations based on the scenario. So you have to know what is what, then you can answer all questions. In the exam you will get 130 minutes time and you will get 65 questions. You have to answer multiple choices or it's based on the question type. So be prepared. Let's move to third question. Here, in Amazon AWS, which of the following statement is true of key pairs? The answers: key pairs are used only for Amazon SDKs. Key pairs are used only for Amazon EC2 and Amazon CloudFront. And the key pairs are used only Elastic Load Balancing and AWS IMI. Key pairs are used for Amazon all services. The fourth question is, in Amazon EC2, partial instance hours are billed. Example, the answers are the per second used in the hour, per minute used, by combining partial segments into full hours as full hours. So here the fourth question answer should be as full hours, because in EC2 service if you use for couple seconds they will charge as a full hour. So we'll move further. Fifth question, in EC2, what happens to the data and instance stored if an instance reboots? Means suddenly stop, intentionally or unintentionally. So what will happen? The data is deleted from the instance store for security reason, or the data persists in the instance store, or data is partially present in the instance store, or data in the instance store will be lost. Okay. The question 6. Which of the following below mentioned options is not available when instance launched by auto scaling with EC2 Classic? The public IP, elastic IP, or private DNS, private IP. Let's move to next question. Question 7. You have created your first load balancer and have registered for EC2 instance with the load balancer. Elastic Load Balancing routinely performs health checks on the registered EC2 instance and automatically distributes all incoming requests to the DNS name of your load balancer across your registered healthy EC2 instances. By default, the load balancer uses protocols for checking the health of your instances: HTTPS or HTTP, ICMP or IPv6. So we'll check all the answers at the end. So let's move to question 8. In Amazon RDS means Relation Data Services. So the security groups are ideally used to define maintenance period of the database instance, launch Amazon RDS instance into the subnet, create, describe, modify, and delete DB instances, control what IP addresses or EC2 instance can connect to your database on DB instance. The last two questions we are going to see here in the question number 9. In Amazon EC2, while the sharing and answers will be a snapshot, can the snapshot with the AWS, the 4 marketplace product codes be public? Yes, but only for US based providers, or yes, they can be public, or no, they cannot be made public. Yes, they are automatically made public by the system. Question 10. You decide that you need to create number of auto scaling groups to try the save time, money, You have noticed that the certain time most of your EC2 instances are not being used by default. What is the maximum number of auto scaling group AWS will allow to you create? 12, unlimited, 20, or 2. Though there are logic, you have to check for that one. So let's move to the answers. For first question, the answer is A, because the cluster. Like here in explanation, Amazon EC2 contains the following components. A cluster is a logical group of container instance that you can place tasks on. Also a container instance. Amazon EC2 is running the Amazon ECS agents has been registered into a cluster. So in the explanation, you can check the clearly what is going with the first question and what will the why the cluster is the perfect answer for that one. So like that, we have to answer for the questions based on the scenarios. Let's move to the second question answer. We saw that your supervisor has asked you build a simplified synchronization service for your department. He doesn't want to spend too much money on us notify of any changes to file by email. So what do you think the Amazon services? So here the answer is A, because SES means the simple email service. So it's a cost effective and you can get 100 alarms and 1,000 emails free for this service. So this is a perfect answer for second question. Let's move to the third question. In Amazon AWS, which of the following statements is true for key pairs? So answer is a B, because the key pairs consist of public and private key, where you use the private key to create a digital signature and then AWS corresponding public key to validate the signature. Key pairs are used for Amazon EC2 and Amazon CloudFront. So for reference, you can go to the reference link so for the information. For the fourth question, in Amazon EC2, partial instance hours are built. Partial, for example, if you are used 5 minutes or 10 minutes, they will charge for as full hours, because partial instance hours are built to the next hour. For reference, you can go to the aws.amazon.com EC2 or frequently asked questions. Next, move to fifth question. In EC2, what happens with data? For example, your data is stop or delete. So what will happen? The answer is B. Data persists in the instance store. Okay, the data is an instance persists only during the lifetime of associate instance. If an instance reboots, for example, suddenly shut down or however the data instance store volumes are lost under the following sentence: failure of underline, stopping and another EBS back instance, terminating an instance. For example, for references, we have to follow the link. We have to understand in detail, in depth, what is going on for EC2 or other services. We have to know detailed scenario based understanding so you can crack the exam easily. For sixth question, which of the following below mentioned options is not available when instance is launched by auto scaling with EC2 Classics? The answer is B, Elastic IP. Auto scaling supports both EC2 Classic and EC2 VPC. When in launch as a part of EC2 Classic, it's been public IP or DNS as well. So let's move to the question 7. Question number 7. You have created your first load balancer. Okay, and register for your EC2 instance with the load balancer. Elastic load balancing routinely performs health checks. So the answer is B, HTTP. Because in Elastic load balancing, a health configuration uses information such as protocol, ping port, ping path, your responses time or period in the health check interval to determine the health state of the instance. So currently HTTP on port 80 is the default health check. Let's move to question 8. In Amazon RDS, security group are ideally used to. Answer is D. Control what IP address or EC2 instance can connect to your databases on DB instance. The explanation is an Amazon RDS security groups are used to control what IP addresses or EC2 instance can connect to your database on DB instances. So let's move to the question number 9. In Amazon EC2, while sharing an Amazon EBS snapshot can snapshot with the AWS marketplace for codes are public. The answer is C. No, they cannot be made public because The snapshots with the individual marketable product code cannot be made public. By the way, snapshot means in AWS the backup related services. Okay. For the last question, you decided that you need to create a number of auto-scaling groups to try and save money, as you notice that the certain most of the EC2 instance not being used by default. Now, what is the maximum number of auto-scaling group that AWS allowed to create? So answer is 20. For explanation, auto-scaling is an AWS service that allows to increase or decrease the number of EC2 instances within your application architecture. With auto-scaling, you can create collection of EC2 instances called auto-scaling group. You can create the groups scratch from existing EC2 instances that are already in production. So you can create maximum 20. So that will be the answer. So I hope these questions are helpful for your examinations. So please share your experience and knowledge with us. Thank you for your support.